Hello students, today we are going to start AC generator. This is an apparatus, okay, and because it is an apparatus, so we need to understand it under the subheadings like introduction, principle, diagram, working, derivation, okay. So let us start now the AC generator device introduction. First of all, by the name AC generator, it should be clear that it is a device which is used to generate or produce the alternating current. Okay, so it will be generating AC, that means alternating current. Now let us proceed to its principle. So basically we are going to generate here one current and we will take the help of induced current concept, in which cases the induced current is produced. So the reason is that whenever the change of magnetic flux takes place, then induced current is produced. So we are going to produce induced current only. So we have to prepare a reason so that the change of magnetic flux takes place. For that, what we need to take, you can see in short it is written here that we need a motion of coil in presence of magnetic field B, so that the change of magnetic flux takes place, and that's why the induced current is produced. And the current which is produced here, that is actually changing the direction after a fixed period of time. That's why the current produced is AC. Okay, so let us see the detailing of this principle. So you can see that here I have written EMI. That means the principle in one word, we can say that EMI is its principle. Okay, that means this AC generator produces the current, alternating current, with the help of EMI phenomena. Okay, so let us read the statement of principle. When an armature or the coil, okay, armature or the coil is one and the same thing. When an armature or the coil is rotated in the presence of magnetic field, then due to the change of magnetic flux through the coil, the induced current is produced. And this changes its direction after fixed time. That's why it is called AC. Okay, so we can remember the principle in short by this statement. We need to rotate a coil in presence of magnetic field B, so the number of field lines crossing that coil will change. That means the magnetic flux will change. Delta means change. So change will occur, and whenever the change of magnetic flux takes place, then induced current is produced. Okay, so basically this is the equation to remember the principle. Now if you remember that we have discussed the moving coil galvanometers principle also in the single line or in single equation format. Okay, let us just compare. AC generator is the one in which current is to be produced. So current will come at last. Okay, but moving coil galvanometer is the one which detects the current flowing in the coil. So detection takes place by the pointer's deflection. So here current should be already there. So this is the difference. This we have already studied in unit number 3. So what was the principle in moving coil galvanometer? When a current carrying coil is present in magnetic field B, then it experiences torque, and due to which it deflects. So this was the principle of moving coil galvanometer, and just reverse is the principle of AC generator. So in AC generator, current is not present in the coil, current is to be produced. Okay, only this coil which we have taken, that is to be rotated in presence of B. So here motion of coil plus B, here current plus B. This should be the input. Okay, so here when the coil is rotated, change of flux takes place. Here when current carrying coil is placed in B, just placed, not rotated. So just placed in B, then it experiences torque. Due to that torque it deflects. And here due to change of flux, induced current is produced. So these are two different phenomena. You don't have to be confused among the two. So let us now take the help of one more rule which will decide the induced current direction. Till now we have understood the Lenz law to find the direction of the induced current. Now we have the support of one more law, that is Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, now it is not Fleming's left hand rule, it is Fleming's right hand rule. So Fleming's right hand rule is used to find the direction of induced current in any coil. Okay, so now the right hand, okay, right hand is to be used. Again these three fingers should be used. They are at perpendicular to each other. These two fingers are to be folded. Now every time this central finger is current, this first finger is magnetic field B, and this thumb is now changed. Earlier in the Fleming's left hand rule, this thumb was pointing the direction of the force. Now this thumb is the motion of conductor. Okay, so you can see in this diagram, if we use our right hand, okay, then thumb denotes motion of conductor or the coil. First finger denotes the field. We have to remember it, F to F. First finger, field. And then the central finger denotes the direction of induced current. So here again C to C is there, central finger, current. But the change is now that this is output. Induced current is output. So in whichever direction the conductor is moved, we have to point the thumb in the motion of conductor direction. Then first finger we have to turn in the magnetic field direction. Then the central finger will give us the direction of induced current. ये हमारा आउटपुट है और ये दोनों इनपुट है, ये ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट होने चाहिए. तो फ्लेमिंग्स राइट हैंड थंब रूल यूज होता है इंड्यूस करंट की डायरेक्शन फाइंड करने के लिए. और वो इंड्यूस करंट की डायरेक्शन कौन सी है, जो आउटपुट है वो है सेंट्रल फिंगर की डायरेक्शन. नाउ वी विल सी द डायग्राम एंड वी विल अंडरस्टैंड इन द नेक्स्ट शीट. So just note down all these detail. Okay students, now you can see that here two diagrams are drawn of AC generator. Actually the infrastructure is same in both the diagrams. Just to show the current direction for first half revolution and for second half revolution of the coil, we have drawn two diagrams here. Okay, now what are the things needed for the AC generator, that means to produce the alternating current? First of all we require a coil. So you can see here one coil A, B, C, D is kept. Okay, now this coil is not having any current initially. Okay, in this coil there is no current initially, the current will be automatically produced later. How it will happen? So for that the second thing which is needed, that is the magnetic field. So you can see that always we can take two poles, north and south, towards the coil. Okay, this coil should be in between north and south. Now again, this north is not alone, actually the whole magnet, but we have just kept the north pole of this magnet this side and of this whole magnet south pole this side. Okay, these are not monopoles. Now secondly about the magnet, these concave shapes are cut in the poles so that the uniform magnetic field is produced. Okay, that means parallel set of lines should be produced. So firstly I will draw the magnetic field lines here. So you see we are outside the magnet. Okay, this is inside the magnet, but if we are here, we are outside the magnet. So outside the magnetic field lines are from north to south. So this is the magnetic field direction, north to south. Okay, this you already know. So we can cross it the coil this way. Magnetic field line should cross the coil. Now as is the principle, what we have written, that what should happen? One coil should be moved in the presence of B so that change of flux takes place, and that's why induced current will be produced. So let us see how it will happen. Let us understand it in both the diagrams. So we can take the help of this coil. Suppose this is our ABCD coil. Now you can see this is suppose A, B, C, D. So you can see that this open end is CD and this closed side it is AB. Now how it is happening? Initially suppose this coil is kept parallel to the board. Okay, like this. the way it is shown in the diagram. So the coil is kept parallel to the board. Now how many field lines are passing through it? So you see, when it is kept parallel, the magnetic field lines are coming from north to south this way. Okay, so you can see when this coil is kept parallel to the board, its plane is parallel to the board, then all the field lines are just crossing around it. That means none of the field line is entering into it. So all the field lines are just passing from this side or this side without entering into it. So that means here no flux is present. Through this coil there is no flux. Okay, you must have understood how it is happening, because field lines are horizontal coming and this coil is kept parallel to the board. So none of the field line will cross it. The field lines will just pass in front and back of the coil without entering into it. In this case the flux is 0. Now what we have to do, we have to rotate the coil. The rotation direction is shown inward from this side. So you see, if this is CD side, okay, CD. If this is CD side, we have to rotate the coil from its central axis this way. Okay, this way. So this CD part, it is rotated inwards. Okay, just see it again. This is our CD portion. We will focus on CD portion just now. This CD part of the coil is rotated inwards. Okay, so when the CD part is rotated, or this coil is rotated this way, inwards, this open side is rotated. We have to check now, is there change of flux? So you see, when the coil was parallel, no flux was entering. But when the coil became like this, okay, perpendicular to the board, then you can see all the field lines which are coming from north pole, from this north pole, they are entering into the coil. So this way, in this position the flux was 0, but in this position the flux is maximum. That means when the coil is rotated in the presence of north and south pole, then through this coil the magnetic field lines change. Number of magnetic field lines entering change. That means we can say that the flux changes. And this way, if the flux changes through any coil, then what is produced by EMI phenomena? Induced current is produced. So we have seen, if we rotate a coil in B, in presence of B, so you see this coil is rotated in the presence of B by any mechanical energy. Okay, this coil is rotated in presence of magnetic field B, then change of flux takes place through the coil, and that's why induced current is produced. Now we have to find the direction of induced current, and we have to just check that is it DC or is it AC in this mechanism. Let us just check. So we will apply now Fleming's right hand rule. So according to Fleming's right hand rule, the three things are fixed. Thumb denotes the motion direction. First finger denotes the field direction. If they both are stretched properly, then the central finger denotes the induced current direction. ये हमारे लिए आउटपुट है, सेंट्रल फिंगर. नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू अप्लाई इट टू दिस करंट डायरेक्शन. हमें ये याद रखना है कि CD को हमने इनवर्ड मूव किया था. ओके, सो दिस इज द राइट हैंड. ओके, दिस इज माय राइट हैंड. नाउ I will be applying it. So I'll turn these two fingers. Only these two fingers are stretched at 90 degree. These three things are at 90 degree. Now how should we stretch? First of all, you can see this thumb should point in the direction of motion of conductor. तो अगर हम CD पे फोकस कर रहे हैं, CD को हमने नॉर्मली इनवर्ट्स लिया था. ओके, हाउ? दिस वॉज आवर कॉइल, दिस इज CD, वी टर्न्ड इट इनवर्ट. ओके, तो CD के लिए हम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, CD को हमें इनवर्ट ले जाना है. ओके, सो लेट अस स्टार्ट नाउ अप्लाइंग फ्लेमिंग्स राइट हैंड रूल. थंब को पॉइंट करना है इनवर्ट. फर्स्ट फिंगर होगा नॉर्थ टू साउथ, तो सेंट्रल फिंगर होगा करंट डायरेक्शन. ओके, सो लेट अस स्टार्ट नाउ. थंब शुड पॉइंट एट CD फेस, थंब शुड पॉइंट इनवर्ट. Thumb is invert to the board. first finger should point from north to south. So from north to south, first finger is pointing. Then you can see that the central finger is pointing downwards. That means in CD, the induced current direction is downwards. Okay, I will just repeat this part to find the induced current direction. We have to use right hand only, remember. Then only these three parts, thumb, first finger and central finger. इनको stretch करो 90 डिग्री पे. अब thumb को point करना है motion की direction में. CD का motion कहाँ गया था? हम सिर्फ CD की बात करेंगे. CD का motion गया था inward. तो thumb को point करो धीरे धीरे inward in the board, in the plane of the board, inward, normally inward. ठीक है, ये thumb को inward. First finger को point करना है north to south. तो यानी horizontal, you can see. फर्स्ट फिंगर कहाँ जानी चाहिए? नॉर्थ टू साउथ. तो ये फर्स्ट फिंगर जा रही है नॉर्थ टू साउथ. अब सेंट्रल फिंगर कहाँ जाएगी? सेंट्रल फिंगर जहाँ भी जा रही है वो डायरेक्शन है इंड्यूस करंट की. तो डायरेक्शन ऑफ इंड्यूस करंट क्या आई? सीडी पर डाउनवर्ड. सीडी पर डाउनवर्ड आ गई. ओके, नाउ अब सीडी पे करंट की डायरेक्शन आ गई. इसी से हम बाकी की करंट को कंप्लीट कर लेंगे. ठीक है, तो ये हमारा एक्सटर्नल सर्किट है जिसको हमने कॉइल से अटैच कर रखा है. किस अरेंजमेंट से? by ring and brush arrangement. This is ring and this is brush. Everywhere it will be like this for contact. Okay, now in the external circuit we should connect a load which will tell us that current is flowing or not. Okay, so here we will get the current. So CD से current downward आई, then it is moving this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way and this way. So this is the complete path of the current. Now here we can remember that in the R resistance or external circuit, the current is flowing from this to this. Let us name it X and Y point. तो current कहाँ flow हुई? इस वाले केस में X to Y. Here the current is flowing from X to Y in the resistance or in the external circuit. We have to remember this thing. Now here we have completed the half revolution of the coil. So you can see I am coming to now the second diagram. So how I started that, let us understand. This resistor is, this part is CD, this part is AB. We turned the coil so that CD moves in. So CD moved in. Then you can see in its half revolution it just came here. So in the second diagram where we have shown the second half revolution, CD's position will come now here. Earlier CD's position was here, but it will shift this side by rotation, half rotation. So it has come here. You can see now CD is here. Then we are continuing with the same revolution. So CD will now come upward. So how the complete revolution will take place? From this diagram, CD, it will take half revolution. It will come here, then it will continue for the complete revolution. So again it will position itself at the same original location. So for the first half revolution, CD went normally in. So for this diagram, revolution is continuing, so CD is coming outward. So here we have to take the motion of the conductor CD outward and we have to find the induced current direction. Let us understand now. Magnetic field is from north to south. CD's motion is normally out. We will apply Fleming's right hand rule to find induced current direction. I will first write here X and Y, and now I will find out that is the current now flowing from X to Y or Y to X in the circuit. So for that I need to apply the Fleming's right hand rule. And you just notice one thing. Here CD was connected with R2B2, and when CD came this side, then also it is connected with R2B2. Okay, and AB is still connected with R1B1. You can see AB is connected with R1B1. So just the coil turned, but the wirings are the same. All connections are in the same manner only done. Now we will apply our Fleming's right hand rule here. So here CD's direction of motion is outward. So right hand rule. Okay, Fleming's right hand rule. turn these two fingers. Now stretch all the fingers perpendicularly like this. Thumb denotes the direction of motion of conductor. CD कहाँ आ रहा है अब? Normally outward आ रहा है, तो इस थंब को नॉर्मली आउटवर्ड शो करना है. उसके बाद फर्स्ट फिंगर कहाँ जानी चाहिए? फर्स्ट फिंगर फील्ड है. फील्ड की डायरेक्शन क्या होगी? नॉर्थ टू साउथ. ये फर्स्ट फिंगर नॉर्थ टू साउथ गई. ओके, तो थंब है बोर्ड के बाहर, फर्स्ट फिंगर है उधर नॉर्थ टू साउथ, तो सेंट्रल फिंगर कहाँ जा रही है? अपवर्ड. नाउ अपवर्ड. ओके, सो नाउ द सेंट्रल फिंगर डायरेक्शन इज, करंट डायरेक्शन इज अपवर्ड. किसमें? CD ब्रांच में. लेट अस शो अपवर्ड करंट. In CD we got that the current, induced current is produced but in the upward direction. Now we will complete its path. After completing the path you can see current went this way, this way, this way and this way. This is the path of the current. Now notice that in the external circuit or in external resistance R, in which direction the current is flowing. So now you can see that the current is flowing from Y to X. Earlier the current was flowing from X to Y. Here the current is from Y to X. That means when any coil like this, it is rotated in the presence of magnetic field B. So this coil is there, North pole and South pole are here. When it is rotated in one particular direction, okay, only one particular direction only we have to rotate it. So whether the coil is rotated in one particular direction, then also the current, induced current which is generated, that is changing its direction for each half revolution of the coil. That means the current which is produced, that is alternating current or AC. Okay, so this way we have understood with the help of Fleming's right hand rule that the induced current which is produced, that is alternating current. Okay. Okay, after understanding this all, now we will understand the derivation part, and the working steps I will send you in form of image or PDF. So derivation steps, let us understand. Draw these diagrams. Now let us see the derivation part of induced EMF and induced current. As you already know that for induced EMF calculation we use the Faraday's second law, E equal to minus d phi by dt. So how induced EMF we will get? If we calculate the phi, magnetic flux, through the coil at any time t. Let us start calculating the flux first. See, at any time we know that magnetic field is from north to south. So magnetic field direction is this. Now when the coil is rotated, then at any time when normal of the coil, that means area vector, okay, whether we say normal to the coil or area vector. So at any time, suppose normal of the coil makes angle theta with the B, then the phi formula is n turns into B dot A. N is the number of turns. So B dot A is the formula of the magnetic flux. If we open it, it is BA cos theta. And in all that cases, when theta changes with time, then we put the theta formula omega t. This you have to remember. Whenever the angle changes with the time, then theta is omega into t. Omega is that angular speed with which that coil is rotated. Okay, the coil which we have taken, no? So omega is the speed of rotation of this coil. Okay, how it is rotated. So NBA cos omega t is the flux formula phi. Now we have to substitute in this minus d phi by dt. So let us start substituting. Minus d by dt as it is. Phi formula is NBA cos omega t. Now NBA constant taken out. Okay, differentiation of cos is sine, but here omega is also there with t. So omega, in differentiation we multiply the constant. So here omega will come. So cos differentiation is minus sine theta. So minus minus will become plus. Okay, I think you have understood this part. Now NBA omega, these parameters are constants, so we can call them E0. Okay, peak or maximum voltage. This will be peak or maximum voltage. Which voltage? Induced voltage. Okay, so E equal to E0, because we have called it E0. So E0 sine omega t. So this way you can see that we have got a AC. That means we can got a alternating voltage equation here. Okay, alternating voltage equation here. If we want to get the induced current, then induced current formula I equal to voltage upon resistance. Voltage is fixed, voltage is this by given by this equation. So what we need to do here, we have to just divide this voltage equation by R. Now R is the resistance of the whole coil, okay, in which the current is flowing. So E0 by R, so E0 by R if we divide, then we can again write it I0. So finally we have got the induced voltage equation and induced current equation. Why we are writing in small cases? Because these are induced terms. Okay, induced terms. Now we will understand the graphs of these two cases, and you have to notice here one point, that peak voltage depends upon N, B, A and omega. So if the question is asked, does the speed of rotation of the coil can decide the peak value? So yes, okay, because this E0 is equal to NBA omega. You can show it separately. Peak voltage is equal to NBA omega. Okay, let us understand with the help of these diagrams the graphs. Okay, here we have drawn 5 orientations of the coil. Okay, this is first orientation, this is second, this one is third, this one is fourth, and this one is fifth orientation. Now how the coil is kept, just understand. Between N and S, here the coil is perpendicular to the magnetic field B. Okay, this is magnetic field B, coil is kept perpendicular. Okay, so if we want to understand it, it is kept in this manner. Okay, in this location it is perpendicular, in this location it is parallel, again perpendicular, here parallel, like that the rotation of the coil is going on. So theta we have to write in each case. When the coil is kept perpendicular to magnetic field B, then between the normal of the coil and B, theta is 0. Okay, between the normal of the coil and B, the angle is 0. So if we put 0 angle here, E answer is 0. So the graph also we will draw. First point is at 0. Then second position, when theta is 90. Theta 90 means between the normal and the magnetic field. Theta is 90. If we put theta 90 here, E equal to E0 means maximum. So next point will be here maximum. Then third case, when theta is 180, put theta 180, E equal to 0. We will get a point here. Then for the fourth orientation, theta 270, E equal to minus E0. If we put theta 270, E equal to minus E0. And at last theta 360, E equal to 0 again. Okay, so this is the 0 point. If we join all these points, obviously we will get a sine graph, because the equation of the induced EMF is a sine equation. So this way, based on the orientations, you can draw the value of the induced EMF, okay, in a graph. So this is all about AC generator.